Dear students and my dear viewers, welcome back to Anatomy for Beginners. In the previous session, we have discussed about the anatomical terms. Now, in this session, we are going to discuss about the divisions of anatomy. Okay, why should we study such kind of divisions or subdivisions of anatomy? Means it is used for understanding the structure and its function in health and disease. Okay, so that is the main reason we are going to study the divisions of anatomy. Okay, the subject of anatomy can be studied under various subdivisions. Okay, now we will see what are the subdivisions. So it is mainly divided into 10 subdivisions. Previously, when the technology is not well developed, in that time only the microscopes are present. At that time, the anatomy is mainly divided into three major divisions. One is gross anatomy, that is macroscopic anatomy, histology or microscopic anatomy, and the embryology or developmental anatomy. So these are the three major divisions or earlier present, and later once the technology was developed, then the anatomy is further divided into many categories. Okay, so that one is radiographic anatomy, and also surface or topographic anatomy and living anatomy. So this living anatomy, under this living anatomy, this radiographic anatomy and the surface or topographic anatomy is also included. Okay, this topographic or surface anatomy we can also study in cadavers as well as in living beings. Okay, next one is the clinical anatomy, and next division is the comparative anatomy. Next one is the physical or biological anthropology and the human genetics. These are the major divisions of the anatomy. Now we will see one by one. The first one now we are going to discuss is the gross or macroscopic anatomy. Okay, here the word macro means large. Okay, so it is a branch of anatomy for understanding the appearance of the parts or organs and their relations with unaided eye. That means we can see with our eyes itself. So here you can see the brain. So here we can find different lobes of the brain here. This is the lateral view actually. So this is the frontal lobe here, and up to here this one is frontal lobe, and you can see the parietal lobe, temporal lobe and the occipital lobe, and also you can find some foldings. So all these things we can see with our naked eye. Okay, so some foldings are present. These foldings are called as sulci and gyri, and also you can find the cerebellum here. So all these things we can see with our naked eye. So this is the study of organ systems such as nervous system, respiratory system, digestive system, etc. All these we can study under this macroscopic anatomy. Okay, next one is the histology or microscopic anatomy. Micro means small. Okay, micro means very small, and histo means tissue. Okay, histo means tissue. Here, the study of structures that cannot be seen with the unaided eye. That means with our naked eyes, we can't see such kind of small structures. So those can be studied only under a microscope. So such kind of study of structures by using microscope is called as microscopic anatomy. Here you can see the long bone. So this bone we can see with our naked eye. Here a small impression or a small marking is present. That part of the bone is kept under microscope. We can find the differentiation of the cells and tissues which are present inside the bone. Okay, here you can find the spongy bone at the center, and in the periphery we can find the compact bone. So all these things we are going to study in detail in the osteology. Okay, so these are some sort of structures. These are called as Haversian canals. We can see only under microscope. We can't see with our naked eye. So that is the thing I want to show you. And now we'll move on to the next one, is the embryology or developmental anatomy. Here, the study of early developmental stages of an organism. So here you can find a baby or a fetus which is developing from 4th week to 36 weeks. How the baby is growing inside the womb we can study under this embryology or developmental anatomy. So knowledge of embryology provides the basis for certain of the clinical conditions that might have resulted from errors during early developmental period of an organism. And also embryology provides the basis for location and relations of the structure. Okay, for example, location and relations of heart, liver, stomach, spleen, etc. All these are present at their places or not, and how these organs are developing. Here you can find, so we can see how the head is developing from 4th week to 36th week, and how the limbs are developed from 4th week to 36th week. We can observe in this pic itself. Okay, so such kind of things we can study under this embryology. And next one we'll move on to the radiographic anatomy. So the radiographic anatomy, with the advancements in medicine, it is now possible to visualize the internal structures in a living individual without opening the body. Various parts of the body and organ systems can be visualized by X-rays, CT scans, and also ultrasound and MRI. So these are magnetic resonance imaging, and this one is computer tomography scan. Okay, and other things are the bronchoscopy and intravenous pyelograms. So here you can find the X-ray of the chest, where we can see only the shadow of the heart and the lungs. When we see, because of the advancements in the technology, so the CT scan, we can see the heart and the vessels also properly, and we can see the bronchial tree inside this lungs also. Okay, if you see the MRI of the heart, this one is the MRI of the heart, you can find the aorta here, and we can see the chambers, the 4 chambers very clearly. This one is atrium, this upper one, two atrium and ventricles, and also the cardiac muscles. We can see very clearly in the MRI. Okay, and next one is the bronchoscopy. So this bronchoscopy, here a tube is sent through the nose or mouth, and it is sent to the trachea, and this for this bronchoscope, at the edge it is having a camera. Through this thing, the doctor can visualize the how the structures which are present inside the trachea and the lungs. Okay, this one is bronchoscopy. This is one kind of techniques, and another one is the intravenous pyelogram. So this is a dye is injected through into the veins, and then an X-ray is taken. We can find how the structures are present. Here the dye is given to study the urinary system. So here you can find some images. Here you can find here, this is the kidney. Okay, so this one is the brightness of the images you can find, and also you can find the ureter here and the urinary bladder. So this is this can be observed only when dye is injected into the body. Such kind of techniques are called as intravenous pyelogram. Okay, so all these techniques are used for understanding the normal appearance in health and for identifying the abnormality in disease. Okay, sound anatomical knowledge is required for performing such kind of techniques and for interpretation of structures which are visualized. Okay, and next we will move on to the next division of the anatomy, that is surface or topographic anatomy. Okay, this method can be used both on cadavers and on the living individuals. This forms the basis for physical examination of the patient and for performing surgical procedures in clinical practice. In this method, the internal structures of the body were studied by marking them on the surface of the cadaver or palpating on the surface of the body. So here we can see this. These are the mid-clavicular lines. So these two are the mid-clavicular lines, and this is this pic is related to the study of the thorax. Here you can find this part is called as jugular notch. Okay, where the sternum is located, and the end point here, this one is the xiphoid process. This is called as the mid-sternal line, we can call it as. So along this mid-sternal line we can find this sternum. Like that we have to study on the surface. Okay, and we can see the costal margins by palpating the margins of the rib cage. We can find this costal margins. Like that we are going to study in the surface anatomy. Okay, and next we'll move on to the next branch, that is called as living anatomy. Okay, study of anatomy in a living individual by using simple techniques like inspection, percussion, palpation and auscultation. Okay, so by using these techniques we can study the anatomy of the living individual. So inspection, now we'll see the inspection by visual observation. So for example, here the patient is having a goiter. Okay, whether it is a goiter or it is a thyroid gland, we have to differentiate. How can you differentiate? By Observing means ask the person to swallow, wherein this goiter moves up and down, then we can find out this one is goiter. If goiter is not present, only we can find the gland. Okay, and next one is the palpation. Here the palpation by feeling with the hand. So here we can feel the radial pulse. So here the doctor is, or any medical professional is using their fingers to palpate the pulse of the radial artery. Okay, so this is the thing happening here. So by feeling with the hand. Okay, so feeling the radial pulse with your fingers by appropriately holding the topographical area where it can be felt near the wrist. Okay, next one is the percussion by tapping the surface of the body part. Here you can see surface of the body. So what is happening here means, so by tapping the surface of the body part with the middle finger of one hand on the middle finger of the other hand. Okay, for percussion we have to use only the middle fingers of the both hands. Okay, so the one of the middle finger is kept in contact with the body surface. With the other middle hand you have to tap on the middle finger which is on contact with the surface. Okay, interpretation is by the resulting sound. If there is a resonant note or a dull note, we can hear the sound. By this method, any collection of the fluid in the lung can be identified. Okay, next one is the auscultation. Here the auscultation by listening to the sounds arising within organs by using stethoscope. So here using stethoscope, here we can hear the sounds of the heartbeat and also some sounds which can be observed in the lungs also. Okay, so these, and also in the abdomen we can hear the bowel sounds also. So all these things helps in diagnosis and treatment. And the next method is the clinical anatomy. Okay, next division of the anatomy is the clinical anatomy, and the application of the anatomical knowledge in the diagnosis and treatment of patients by medical or surgical methods. For this thing also you should have a very good knowledge of anatomy is required. Okay, surgical anatomy is the study of structures giving emphasis on its direct practical significance in the practice of surgery. Here we should understand the normal inner wall of the stomach, and then only we can appreciate the ulcers inside the stomach, and this can be studied by some techniques called as endoscopy. Okay, endoscopy. Through endoscopy we can find such kind of ulcers which are present inside the gastrointestinal tract. Okay, and next coming to the comparative anatomy, comparison of changes in the morphology and function of different organs and organ systems of the human body that has occurred during evolution from fish to the mammalian stage. So from fish to the mammalians, here we can find the vertebrates. Okay, vertebrates. So before that we can find only invertebrates. From fishes to mammalians, how the organs and the organ systems are going to change during evolution. For example, you can see here, from here we can find the aves, amphibians. Okay, so this one is the pentadactyl limbs. That means 5 digits are present. How this has been evolved, okay, up to the human. Okay, so these are the changes which can be observed during evolution. Okay, this such kind of things are going to study in comparative anatomy. Okay, next one is the physical or biological. Okay, in this physical or biological anthropology, it deals with physical and biological and behavioral aspects of human beings, their related non-human primates, and their hominoid ancestors. Those are extinct. Okay, it is the study of human evolution. It is the study of human evolution. It mainly focuses on origin, evolution, and diversity of people of different race, ethnicity, and socio-cultural backgrounds are studied under this biological anthropology. Next one is the human genetics. It is the study of heredity, the process of transmission of genes, okay, or characters or traits from parents to offsprings, and associated variations that can play role in causation of defects or diseases. Such things can be studied under human genetics. So these are all about the divisions of anatomy. In the next session we are going to discuss about approaches for studying anatomy. Thank you.